All good? Yep. Okay. It's 1:01. I'll call this meeting to order. Public planning meeting agenda for November 22nd. This is a public meeting concerning proposed zoning bylaw amendments pursuant to Section 34 of the Planning Act. We have two files today. The first is with Christopher Van Vleeman, and the second is concerning Paul Shirk. Any person or public body is entitled to attend the public meeting and make written or oral submissions in support of or in opposition to any of the proposed zoning bylaw amendments. Written comments should be submitted to the clerk, Lindsay Green. If a person or public body does not make oral submissions at a public meeting or make written submissions to the Township of Southgate before the zoning bylaw is passed, the person or public body is not entitled to appeal the decision of council of the Township of Southgate to the Ontario Land Tribunal, and in addition, they may not be added as a party to the hearing of an appeal before the Ontario Land Tribunal, unless, in the opinion of the board, there are reasonable grounds to do so. So the first zoning bylaw amendment we have today is C15-23, Christopher Van Vleeman. The purpose of the proposed zoning bylaw application is to implement a condition of consent, if approved, for a proposed retained lot containing the existing farmhouse and accessory buildings. The proposed rezoning would address lot frontage, lot area, and any other site-specific requirements for the retained lot containing the existing farmhouse and accessory buildings. The severed lot would be rezoned to prohibit the future construction of a new residential dwelling of any type. The effect of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment would be to change the zoning symbol on a portion of the property for the retained parcel from the agricultural A1 to allow exceptions for lot frontage, lot area, and other applicable regulations related to the existing farmhouse and accessory buildings, and on the severed lot provide an exception from the agricultural A1 to prohibit the future construction of a new residential dwelling of any type. Location of the subject lands are Concession 1, Egremont, physical area of Egremont, Part Division 3, Lot 8, Part Division 1, Lot 9, Geographic Township of Egremont, Township of Southgate, civic address is 312621, Highway 6. I was almost going to say Queens Highway, but it's the Kings Highway now. May I please have confirmation from the clerk that proper notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act?
Yes, for you, Mayor Milne, proper notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act. The notice was posted on the property and mailed out.
Most excellent. I'll now ask our planning consultant, Bill White, to review correspondence received from commenting agencies and any written comments received from members of the public. Welcome, Bill. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure too many people are here that weren't here this morning when we considered the severance application at Committee of Adjustment. I don't believe there are any public comments that have been submitted. The comments that we do have on the agenda include Enbridge Gas and Saugeen Métis and Southgate Public Works, which don't have any concerns at this point. The County of Grey comments are there for review. They do not object to the rezoning. They've dealt with it as a surplus farm severance. As we discussed in the Committee of Adjustment, it's either a surplus farm severance or joining to the abutting lands, whichever works for the applicant at the time. And the issue, which is not in comment, was whether they can or cannot get an MTO access to the highway. So that remains to be seen, and the committee put appropriate conditions in place this morning that would allow that option to remain for the applicants. As far as the rezoning goes, the Conservation Authority has also responded that they believe the proposal is consistent with the provincial policy matters and other natural heritage and hazard matters that they are involved with.
Wonderful. Are there any questions or discussion from council at this time? You'll have another opportunity later, but are there any now? Not seeing any. I'll ask if the applicant or agent is present, and if they are, if they could identify themselves and state the name for the record, and if they'd like to make any representation. Okay, nobody here from that. Is there anyone present who'd like to make a submission in support of this application? Nope. Anyone here who would like to make a submission in opposition to the application? Nope. Are there any further questions or comments or discussion from members of council? Nope. Excellent. Just breezing right along here. The second is C16-23, Paul Shirk. The purpose of the proposed zoning bylaw amendment is to allow an on-farm diversified dry industry use, including woodworking, metalworking, and fabricating, manufacture of concrete and related supplies, and the like. The proposed use, including office, lunchroom, and power room, would occupy up to 750 meters squared floor area of a proposed structure with outside storage not to exceed 500 square meters. The effect of the proposed amendment would be to apply a new agricultural exception zone to permit an on-farm diversified dry industry use on part of the subject lands. Location of the subject lands are Concession 9, Lot 14, Geographic Township of Proton, Township of Southgate. Civic address is 125517 Southgate Road 12. May I please have confirmation from the clerk that the sign and notice was given in accordance with the Planning Act?
Yes, through you, Mayor Milne. The proper notice was given in accordance with the act. The sign was posted on the property and notice was mailed out.
Most excellent. I'll now ask our planning consultant, Bill White, to review correspondence received from commenting agencies and any written comments received by or from members of the public. Bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There are no public comments received that I'm aware of or that are posted on the agenda. Enbridge Gas and the Saugeen Métis and Southgate Public Works do not have objections to this proposal. The County of Grey has submitted comments that would be fairly standard for an application such as this. They are noting the provisions in their official plan, the requirements of MDS, and they're also outlining issues regarding Ministry of Environment D6 guidelines, which relate to, I believe, noise and other impacts that these kinds of uses may have on nearby homes and other uses. And they're supporting the application or not objecting to the application, provided those guidelines are addressed. They've also mentioned a 15-meter buffer from the wetland that needs to be maintained, and that's also echoed in the Conservation Authority comments. They also note Endangered Species Act obligations are a requirement for the applicant to meet. I'm not sure they've identified any or aware of any significant habitat there, but I think the intent is to oppose disturbing or prevent disturbing any of the natural features on the property wherever possible. And that's essentially where the Conservation Authority has come across in their comments as well. I don't believe there are any other comments on the application at this point.
Perfect. Thank you, Bill. Any questions or discussion from council at this time? Nope, not seeing any. I'll now ask if the applicant or agent is present. If they are, please identify yourself and would you like to make any representation? Nope. Anyone present who'd like to make a submission in support? Anyone wishing to make a presentation in opposition? Any further questions from council? Well then, 110, we are done here, people. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you.